aka Paco. I'm here with LV. Different tone, different zone. Vibe with us. Yeah, coming from me, you know it's real. I don't do shit like this.
This is for my nation, Declaration of Independence, freedom of speech, freedom from these leeches. They want us down, they don't want to teach us. They acknowledge that to eat on. This is for my nation, Declaration of Independence, freedom of speech, freedom from these leeches. They want us down, they don't want to teach us. They get the knowledge that to each his own.
The same nigga that they used to be, it's the same nigga in office, decisions of the world at his feet. I'm on my pro-black shit, 21 gun salute, big payback shit, yeah. We on the move, it ain't no time for relaxing. And we marching, and we light-skinned, and we dark-skinned, and we Haitian, and we are one, all in this nation. Share Katrina tragedy like I was from New Orleans. Hated what happened to Haiti like White Cliff lately. They want us dead, they don't want black babies. Acting like a new black is too much crazy. Then they put us in the projects like a project. Make us the subject and turn us into suspects. Fuck balance, I'm riding on them offsets. Hungry project kid looking for profits. Stop it, I'm at the table like it's dinner time. Who is Uncle Sam to tell blacks how to minimize? Why would I surrender my position? Especially when I represent the nation and the race is for my nation.
Declaration of Independence, freedom of speech, freedom from these leeches. They want us down, they don't want to teach us. They get the knowledge that to each his own. This is for my nation. Declaration of Independence, freedom of speech, freedom from these leeches. They want us down, they don't want to teach us. Get the knowledge that to each his own.
Big up to my political soldiers, discipline leader, mind frame, Tupac Shakur. Hold a memorial for the shining stars lost at war. The casualties and tragedies and many more. First you gotta learn, shoot, then salute. Learn to decode the signs of a mason. They a game too sophisticated, not basic. This life's a Rubik's Cube, you gotta face it. Different colors and dimensions, black and white coalitions, power tripping on the mission. Chill out, therefore sellouts and bail out. They want us fall back in the hood and just kill out. But we build up and we network. Got too enterprising with our eyes on the network. Yeah, I ain't political, I'm critical. Our previous nation leader was pitiful. Put him on the pedestal and ridicule. I'm on exposing to you what you need to know. Roll up when you're here, you gon' need the blow. If you ain't on our side, then you need to go. Traitor, hater, stomp on you, alpha beta. My team ready to stand, skin tougher than gator. Assassinate you, snipe you under the radar.
Declaration of Independence, freedom of speech, freedom from these leeches. They want us down, they don't want to teach us. They acknowledge that to each his own. This is for my nation. Declaration of Independence, freedom of speech, freedom from these leeches. They want us down, they don't want to teach us. Get the knowledge that to each his own.
Who taught you to hate the texture of your hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin to such a extent that you bleed to get like the white? Who taught you to hate the shape of your nose and the shape of your lips? Who taught you to hate yourself from the top of your head to the soles of your feet? Who taught you to hate your own kind? Who taught you to hate the race that you belong to? so much so that they don't want to be around each other. No, before you come asking Mr. Muhammad, does he teach hate? You should ask yourself who taught you to hate being what God gave you.
Yo, welcome back to the Divas Corner Talk Show with your number one host in the city, Diva Rashida. We have a whole full house tonight. Diva Janelle, that's who you just heard. That's her. You want to go ahead and explain that song? You want to go ahead and explain the inspiration? I know last week we went over and you said Paco had a lot to do with it, but let me get your take on it. That's our new anthem, by the way.
When it was really weird because Paco and I always had this like mad chemistry when it came to music, but Paco at the time didn't want to do music because he was doing other things. So I used to come down to his store every single day and ask him, hey, you ready to go to the studio? And he used to blow me off like, no, man, I got other stuff to do, man. I got other stuff to do.
He's talented,
too.
Too.
So I just held my tongue and I started working on my own mix CD and I was promoting it. And Paco came to me and said, hey, I got this song and I think that would be great. And I want you to do the hook. So I took it home, did my homework, came back. He liked it. We recorded it, and I'm kind of like in a doghouse because it should be a video for that, but we haven't got to that yet.
We definitely need to be putting that in the works, especially at the Divas Corner, Rise the Power Network presenting the Divas Corner Talk Show. So we definitely need to put that in the works. That song is hot, y'all. Check that song out.
It's needed for sure.
Definitely needed. So, we're following up on our second series topic of the mass incarceration of the Black man and the 13th Amendment. Last week, we didn't really get to go into depth. We got a few people here tonight. Give a shout out to Malcolm Tanksley. He's a juvenile correctional officer. You want to tell them a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I've been a juvenile probation officer for 11 years. I started out working with children's services for 7 years, and then I switched over to the court system. So I have a lot of experience working with our youth in Columbus, Ohio, and also I do a little basketball coaching too, and I've been doing that for 14 years. So I have opportunity.
Really, you coach? Where you coach at?
Coach at Northland High School.
Northland in the building. Yeah. That's a pretty good team.
Yeah, I have had an opportunity to coach there and also coach at Eastmore Academy. So I've been in coaching for like 14 years. So I have had an opportunity to work with a variety of our teenage males.
Okay, so seeing that you work with a lot of teenage males and you do work in the correctional system with the juveniles, what are the numbers you see as far as the race coming in there?
Well, it's probably 95-5. With our Black males being brought into the system.
And being a Black man, how does that make you feel?
Well, I kind of take it personal. That's why I'm still in the work. They don't pay us a lot. I'm there that I can be an example and hopefully help some of our young men not end up either killing each other or either ending up in the prison system. What you see now where we get ready to enter into the summer months where the murder rate is already pretty high. And I take it personally. That's why I stay in this field. And hopefully if I can help just one kid stay out of the system and stop some of the violence out there in the streets, that's my goal.
What are some of the numbers that you look at as far as murder and violent crimes for teenagers?
Oh, it's out of control. If you look at it compared to Chicago or somewhere like that, our numbers are almost double from last year. And most of it's gang violence and drug violence among our own people. We robbing our own people.
Yeah, it's crazy because this week alone, we had about 7 or 8 murders.
7 or 8. So what does that take Columbus's total up to? About I heard 40, it was like 44, 45. That takes it up to 45 so far this year into April. What's the difference from last year?
29 last year this time.
29. So we've increased almost 20 in numbers of double the homicide for just Columbus alone.
Yeah, and it's young African American men usually are doing the crimes. Robbing each other, setting each other up. it's sad because when you start looking at, when they start catching these guys that's doing this, they're 16, 17, 18 years old. You know, it's not the older crowd, it's the younger generation that don't even have respect for life anymore. They just out here killing each other and never even think about the repercussions of killing somebody's kid and what that family has to deal with the rest of their lives.
Yeah, I agree. It's very disheartening. I mean, it's at your own front door, and it's like you feel so helpless because it's your own community, and then you feel helpless because dealing with the police and the bad relations, like we're going to be talking about this evening, just how the system is set up for us to fail. It's just designed to break us, to overwork us, and to just break us. And so, what is your goal as a probation officer for juveniles? What is your goal into reaching them?
Just keeping it real with them. You know, I didn't grow up in Bexley, New Albany, Worthington. I grew up in the hood too. So, you know, I was able to make it out of, a lot of my friends were able to make it out of the hood. But, you know, the main thing we have to understand as young black men is we got to get an education. Without getting that high school diploma, you can't do nothing out there. You know, the system has got to the point now where you can't even get a job at McDonald's, Wendy's, nowhere unless you got a high school diploma.
At least the GED.
Right. And that's what I try to instill in them and let them know that the system don't care about them. They don't care about you. That's, you know, you're taking away from what they want to do, really. So we feed right into the system.
I want to add to that too, because you're absolutely right with that, because my thing is this: I have a 10-year-old in the school system. They're integrating it into the school system now. I have a 10-year-old, and they would have like this behavioral coach, which is like equivalent to a detention teacher in high school. Child messes up, they go down for a little while, sit down, calm down. Yeah. They go back to their class, where they're eliminating that. They're taking that behavioral coach out of the school. So what do you do when you have something like that? The principal in turn said, I'm just going to call the police. So this is the scare tactic. It's not like, okay, what can we do to help you? Right. And it begins there in elementary. How can you have a record at 10 years old? But it's possible.
Because it's a scare tactic.
Right.
Not to help us.
No, it's not for us.
It's definitely not to help us. To incarcerate us, to get rid of us,
By the way, everybody,
that's all it is, And the gentleman over here said something about that we need to conform to their ways because we can't. They're designed to not help us. So then, why should we conform to their ways? That goes into the black community. We all need to stick together and help within the black homes. I mean, not even just with the black homes. Anyone who's out there who's willing to help themselves, seek help. Mm-hmm. We all need to pull together as a whole because the system, the government is definitely not designed for us black folks, for the poor folks, minorities, period, dot.
Well, it was right. You're right about that.
So how can we conform? We don't have to have a GED. Look at Dave Thomas. He didn't graduate.
He didn't get his.
He didn't even get until he was like 50, 60 years old. So who says that I can? I don't have a GED or a high school graduate, but my test scores excel by itself. I'm highly intelligent.
I mean, honestly,
but when you do that,
the government
they don't
I
care
got to have
that. Yep, that's exactly
but
what they say.
If our brothers and sisters stuck together, then I can reach out to her. We can reach out and unite as one, and I can open up my own business. Funding. Let's donate. Let's do this. Let's do that.
What do they do?
We don't need government.
You still gonna have to run right back through this system, though. So even though you're doing that, you're still gonna have to. You're gonna have to run through that system because the IRS is you got to deal with them no matter what. So you're gonna run. You're gonna be filtered through that system no matter what. So anything that you try to do, being an African American in this community, nonprofit,
but I have
entrepreneur,
I have a lot of say so, and I have a lot of control. Less control from the white man, more control from myself.
That's right. But I mean, that's such an in-depth issue. Leading into just a whole
another thing,
financial breakdown. Because I mean, these are the kind of things that we do need to talk about in the community, and we're going to get more in depth in those things been more shows on the Divas Corner Talk Show. So
it's so much
Yep.
to this topic that you can never just talk about it for
Oh
a couple
my God,
hours and
right,
it's over.
Right.
Because there's so many levels. Like you peel off one thing and talk about it, and then
It's
something
just
else
like
that's
a
like that.
whole
You know what I
nother level
mean?
right there. And we're
From
talking
school
about
to jobs to, you know, it's
The
right there in our
bottom line is
face.
we need to unite. Until we get it in our head, they have separated us so much from very young ages. They would take our children and put our men and our women they were slaves, and our children were separated. Sometimes they never saw their families. So we are already ingrained to be separated. It's hard for us to come together and to unite. So until we get it in our head that we need to unite, this is how we're going to get our people out of the prisons. This is how we're going to get our people into positions where we have our own banks. And we used to, we've had that conversation.
1821 Wall Street.
Yes. We, having our own banks, having our own finances. And you see, being filtered into the same systems, not necessarily, because if we unite as one, we don't have no one else to go to if we go to each other. So we don't have to go to a system that is not geared for us if we
got to become our own system. It's time to start being the man in the mirror. It's time
Okay,
to
with
start
that
being
still
the man in
being
the
said,
mirror.
but you have to still be realistic.
Yes, you have to be
You understand
realistic.
what I'm saying?
That I mean,
That's just not gonna
67%,
happen.
67% of white people.
Changing the world is being realistic.
Yeah, you have to be realistic on
and
what
that
is right
comes from somebody
now.
young.
Yeah, okay. Cy Mandela in the building. Mrs. Pamela Leonard over here talking.
Crowder.
What I would
Pamela
like to
Leonard
see,
Crowder.
what I would
Pamela
like to
Leonard
see
Crowder.
is like me, the community that I live in is not a good community. You understand what I'm saying? But I have mad respect in that community. So I use my voice
Right.
in my community. I'm a woman, so what? But I have a lot of young men that are in their 20s that have mad respect for me. So if I can sit down and I can make a difference in my community, like we had 50 shots rang out in my community last week. And thank goodness no kid got hurt. My friend got shot in the chest, but he lived.
Oh
But 50 shots open with, there's a park and his kids out there playing football. They're in the parking lot and they all just open fire.
No.
Come
no,
on.
No, just
Like, come on. I could have been out there. And what's so sad about that, here we go back to the community. How many moms came outside? No moms
to check
came
on their
out there.
children.
No, not one mom came outside.
My children aren't
to
even
check on their
allowed
kids.
outside barely ever. It's
To
like
check
I
on
don't
their
even
kids.
want them to even go on the porch. And this is really ridiculous that you just don't want your children to even be on the porch. But back to what we were talking about, Pamela Leonard's here. She spent some time in prison, so we're going to be talking about that a little bit more in the show. And the topic of discussion, which inspired the topic that we're talking about tonight, was the 13th Amendment, the documentary on Netflix. If you have not seen that documentary, please go check it out. And so real quick, I wanted to state for you what the 13th Amendment was. And then after that, I wanted to have you listen to the trailer of the 13th documentary. So we're going to take a second to do that.
Are you going to talk about the end part of it?
This
Did
is
you get the
this is the
Trump part?
actual trailer. And then we've got some other clips that we're going to listen to in a little bit. And it's regarding some political figures who are in office and some political figures who were recently running for office who we actually supported. So you got to do your homework and you got to provide some knowledge to yourself. So I'm just, waking you up as I'm being awakened. It says pass the torch of knowledge. And so I'm doing such a thing. So we're going to be listening to some clips later on in the show from some of these political campaign individuals, presidents.
I think you really should try to pull that up too, because
It's already in play.
This is your president. Like, this is your president.
Yeah.
This is what he feel about us. You feel me? The only way that you're gonna change is if you re-educate yourself.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
he says,
Retraining. That's my thing. Retraining the youth.
Yeah.
We have to retrain these guys because they're lost and they're comfortable with it. They're comfortable with being lost. They're comfortable with calling each other nigga. The female is comfortable with calling each other bitches. You feel me? It's a sense of slavery that you don't even know that you accept it because you do it every day. I get offended when somebody call my son a nigga, but that's not what he is. He's a king.
Okay.
He's a king, and I don't
gentleman.
expect nothing else from that. And however you feel that way, then that's the way you're gonna feel. Because I can't even have a conversation with you.
Right. Because you're not on my level.
Right.
So, Velvet, over there, you got the 13th Amendment sitting at the top of that page. Will you go ahead and read section 1 and 2? The 13th Amendment is literally about 46 words long.
Section 1 says, neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, except as a punishment for crime, whereof the party shall have been duly convicted, shall exist within the United States or any place subject to their jurisdiction. Section 2. Congress shall have power to enforce this article by appropriate legislation.
So that right there was the 13th Amendment. For those who have never heard of the 13th Amendment, what it's about, this is where they have claimed to abolish slavery, although we know in all reality that slavery was actually legalized in the same context. Because with that clause that it says except as punishment by crime, it means that you're allowed to be put into involuntary slave servitude if you go to prison or jail. And we know that after that happened, the focus became the black man and the black people for mass incarceration. And it's just men and women who suffer from getting long, prison term sentences. When we look at the U.S. being the world leader in incarceration, we have 2.2 million African American people in prisons and jails. That's a 300% increase with over the last 40 years. I mean, you're talking about a huge increase of prisoners. We went from about 40,000 people to 2.2 million people.
I said that's like a little country. Like you have a country.
Right, you have a country of our people.
Agenda. You got a hidden world.
This is ridiculous.
Like, come on, man.
Come on. Crazy. And then the policies and things that just come in effect with it. So we're going to take a 10-minute break. We're going to go ahead and bring up the video for you with a link for you to listen to the introduction to the 13th documentary, the trailer. We want you to hear what this is about. And if you have not seen it, it's up for an Academy Award. Please, you're watching Netflix and chilling. Please go ahead and watch Netflix and turn on the 13th and learn something important. It will make you mad and angry all over again. But that's what have to happen. You have to be awoken. You have to know what's going on in the community in order to be able to break the chains. And also, we're going to have some live performances coming back from Cy Mandela. He's got Black Lives Matter, a song that he just released, him along with Casey London, who's over here, Casey on the track. So we're going to go ahead and let them spit some things to you when we come back. Divas Corner Talk Show, and we'll see you soon.
Human beings with their hands on bars, shackled in the world, are locked up here in the land of the free.
Khalif Browder was walking home from a party when he was stopped by police.
Then they said, we're going to take you to the precinct, and most likely we're going to let you go home. And then I never went home.
The 13th Amendment to the Constitution makes it unconstitutional for someone to be held as a slave. There are exceptions, including criminals.
The loophole was immediately exploited. What you got after that was a rapid transition to a mythology of black criminality.
Some people got the real problem. Animals, beasts that needed to be controlled.
You better believe it.
I'm only human.
It became virtually impossible for a politician to run and appear soft on crime.
The kinds of kids that are called super predators.
Millions of dollars will be allocated for prison and jail facilities.
3 strikes and you are out. It was an enormous burden on the black community, but it also violated a sense of core fairness.
Some people got the real problem.
States were required to keep these prisons filled, even if nobody was committing a crime.
It's so difficult to talk about mass incarceration because it has become heavily monetized. The focus is on taking people from prison, putting them in community corrections, parole and probation.
How much progress is it really if now there's a private company making money off the GPS monitor?
We now have more African Americans under criminal supervision than all the slaves back in the 1850s.
We are the products of the history that our ancestors chose. Products of that set of choices that we have to understand in order to escape from it.
We should go looking somewhere high. I'm only human after all. Don't put the blame on me.
no. Fuck niggas, they be snoozing, they be snoozing. Fuck bitches, they be choosing, they be choosing. I'm a winner, you lose, why you losing? I'm a winner, you lose, why you losing? Fuck niggas, they be snoozing, they be snoozing. Fuck bitches, they be choosing, they be choosing. I'm a winner, you lose, why you losing? I'm a winner, you lose, why you losing? Goofy niggas, so they do it at. I'm from Columbus, where niggas a lie right to your face. I got some fans, my nigga, I got a fan base. She said she love me, but I'm like, that's what they all say. Like, take a photo, you gon' see me on that one way. I'm trying to make it, my nigga, it's only one way. You see me eating on the cosplay for one plate. I see you feeding, boy, you gotta get away. Hey. Money stacking up right to the ceiling. These niggas hating cause I'm trying to get it. Gotta go hard, but don't take me for granted. Switch up on me, but I bet you regret it. Only want me cause you see where I'm headed. Double XL magazines at the head in. Hey, yeah. I still remember them old days. I was young trying to get away. All the brag for them better days. Started rapping and I changed my ways. That's when I seen how they changed their phase. Became alone, everyone moved away. Ever since then I've been getting K. Ever since then I've been getting K. They be snoozing, they be snoozing. And fuck bitches, they be choosing, they be choosing. I'm a winner, you a loser, why you losing? I'm a winner, you a loser, why you losing? Fuck niggas, they be snoozing, they be snoozing. And fuck bitches, they be choosing, they be choosing. I'm a winner, you a loser, why you losing? I'm a winner, you a loser, why you losing? Y'all niggas sleep, y'all niggas be snoring. Don't talk to me, cause all of y'all niggas boring. I make it rain, yeah, I know you see it boring. By 21, I'ma be worth a fortune. I've been eating ever since I've been recording. You hate on me, but honestly, you ain't important. I got them all, yeah, niggas, they got extorted. I'm done talking, that's the end of my story. Yeah. Fuck niggas, they be snoozing, they be snoozing. And fuck bitches, they be choosing, they be choosing. I'm a winner, you a loser, why you losing? I'm a winner, you a loser, why you losing? Fuck niggas, they be snoozing, they be snoozing. And fuck bitches, they be choosing, they be choosing. I'm a winner, you a loser, why you losing? I'm a winner, you a loser, why you losing? Hey.
Route to Power Production.
It's Xavier.
Straight fly shit, baby. I am the nutty for press. How she gon' finesse a finesse? I am so high in my class. I am a professor. Hold up, I got some suggestions. Excuse me, you got any questions? Roll with me through the semester. You fucking with me, you gon' learn your lesson. I am the nutty professor. How she gon' finesse a finesse? I am so high in my class. I am a professor. Hold up, I got some suggestions. Excuse me, you got any questions? Roll with me through the semester. You fucking with me, you gon' learn your lesson. Watch out, real nigga whip it, whip it. It's chemistry, baby. I'm coming off so polished, no blemishes, baby. This that for sure, G. No ifs, ands, or maybe. Have a pull up in the car and sing, driving the crazy. Spit this shit from Tucson. Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hot. Money piles, I stack them hot. Body size, I appetite. Gotta get she amplified. Bottom bitch, she ride or die. Rock these fuck niggas to sleep and sing these pussy lullabies. Looking at I be dollar sign. No, she the bomb Columbine. Station number one, never second to none, never second to none. Hey, and I never second guess it, never second guess it. Beauty apply pressure, beauty apply pressure. 3-time winner, color trimester. I am the nutty professor. How she gon' finesse a finesse? I am so high in my class. I am a professor. Hold up, I got some suggestions. Excuse me, you got any questions? Roll with me through the semester. You fucking with me, you gon' learn your lesson. I am the nutty professor. How she gon' finesse a finesse? I am so high in my class. I am a professor. Hold up, I got some suggestions. Excuse me, you got any questions? Roll with me through the semester. You fucking with me, you gon' learn your lesson. Perfect ingredients mixed her. Say she was broken, I fixed her. Ride a Frank stain, no pranker. Give her the brush and go paint her. See how thin Lisa can't tame her. Say she gotta eat her, can't blame her. Proud of her, can't shame her. Team player, can't game her. Say she got a fetish for the latest designer, so I lace in the latest and then I decline her. Now haters are looking like, where did you find her? You know I'm created, I probably created her. Following suit like they heavily sedated. Hate me, hate the game, that's the way they made it. Gang, we on the feet. All-star, we, she on fleet. Coordinated cars, clothes neat. Hook me with a plug, now I get it for cheap. So now no nigga, you can get it from me. And just remember, you ain't get it from me. Violate the fucking code of silence. She gon' rinse out the fucking balance. Since she wanted to pass her fucking limits, we was like, fuck the fucking malice. I am the nutty for best. How she gon' finesse or finesse? I am so high in my class. I am a professor. Hold up, I got some suggestions. Excuse me, you got any questions? Roll with me through the semester. You fucking with me, you gon' learn your lesson. I am the nutty professor. How she gon' finesse or finesse? I am so high in my class. I am a professor. Hold up, I got some suggestions. Excuse me, you got any questions? Roll with me through the semester. You fucking with me, you gon' learn your lesson.
Jay Casperson. Oh man. Just a month ago, I was down bad. My main chick left me talking down bad. I'm very upset. I fell for that track. Just thinking about her ass gon' make me gag. But chill, baby, no, I ain't holding back. You should know I trust you every often. I'm dropping you off them bags. I'm loving your class, so I fell on purpose. I ain't dumb, I listen perfect. The stories you telling me I deserved it. You've been through hella shit, that's why you tossing and turning. Always respect it, cause now they wouldn't confess it. You get your beauty sleep, got such a protection. Let a nigga touch you, I'm blessed, that's Smith and Wesson. Promise to hold you, never let go of that blessing. I wake up, munching that pussy for breakfast. Then off to reality, I gotta up on my salary. I'm working hourly just to cover my rent. We can live powerfully ever after, ignore the interference. How about fuck our exes, play them like they never exist. Girl, if you insist, give it all to me, and I'll give it all to you. Girl, it's not what I see, it's about all the things you do. Give it all to me, and I'll give it all to you. Girl, it's not what I see, it's about all the things you do.
Baby, that's small to a giant and I ain't no petty dude. Let me take the sexy body, put it on the pedestal. Let me talk to you. I done won some, I done lost some. Hey, we call up in your feelings, how you all plumb dumb. Let it burn in your chest like straight rum. Don't ask about my ex, don't hit a despise. Situations turn me to an unusual suspect like Kaiser. Eyes of the prize, so let me surprise. Big rocks on a new bitch, a big glaze, strong bound with no title. That shit is amazing. Money back with no limit, that shit is amazing. Now step in the future, now look in the past. Tell them to kiss her ass. Standing in the greenest grass, smoking on the finest gas. Look at this fat old ass. She said she get it from her mother. Pussy print look like a sucker. Better eat that for supper. Better beat it up like she stole something. Give it up like you owe something. That good hood, let me know you know something. Make a nigga let you hold something. So no news, nothing like some old something. Pop out random, fucking handsome ransom. My shit is priceless.
Give it all to me, and I'll give it all to you. Girl, it's not what I see, it's about all the things you do. Give it all to me, and I'll give it all to you. Girl, it's not what I see, it's about all the things you do.
You keep it real, I don't even know how to feel without you. It's like lying in music, shit wouldn't be real. Them other girls tried to play me, call me they little baby. Then turn around and say, that wasn't my lady. But girl, you said 100, when I needed you funded. Hold this strap while I'm running, that's why I say you real. You tell them how it is, tell them that I'm your man, and how they never can take the spot you in. I can show you love is real, you know. Don't really care they feel, you know. I'm addicted to your love, like I be popping pills, you know. Don't need no thotty, no boppy, no little or whatever you call them. I know that they watching, but every time I'm with you, always profit. Whoa, 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 hey, 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 always profit, yeah. I always profit, yeah, yeah. Give it all to me, and I'll give it all to you. Girl, it's not what I see, it's about all the things you do. Give it all to me, and I'll give it all to you. Girl, it's not what I see, it's about all the things you do.
You could run into a kid waiting to relieve you of your purse or wallet.
Every media outlet in the country thinks I'm less than human. I began to hear the word super predator as if that was my name.
Super predator, predator, super predator, super predators. That's the word they use to describe this generation, and it was very, very effective.
Experts call them super predators.
They are not just gangs of kids anymore. They are often the kinds of kids that are called super predators. No conscience, no empathy.
Group of kids who are growing up essentially fatherless, godless, and jobless.
The presidents that we have reflect the heart of the American people. And so you need to wake up, as Pam says, stay woke. In other words. So with that being said, we're going to hear this documentary piece. We're going to come back. We're going to talk to Pamela Leonard Crowder about her experience in prison, some of the conditions, and how it was for her just dealing with being away from family and how it affected her life. So let's go ahead and listen to that piece, if you could, Raven.
Please listen. Please. You could run into a kid waiting to relieve you of your purse or wallet.
Every media outlet in the country thinks I'm less than human. I began to hear the word super predator as if that was my name.
Super predator, predator, super predator, super predators. That's the word they use to describe this generation, and it was very, very effective.
Experts call them super predators.
They are not just gangs of kids anymore. They are often the kinds of kids that are called super predators. No conscience, no empathy.
Group of kids who are growing up essentially fatherless, godless, and jobless.
For me, what's more disturbing is the degree to which Black people put into that. Animals, beasts that needed to be controlled.
When those grandmothers say, but he's a good boy. He never did anything. Don't you believe it?
Many Black communities.
You got it? Technical difficulties. We did on the air. They're like, hey, what's going on? Like,
last night, the 18 accused of the attack were arraigned on charges of rape.
You know what? I ain't got my headphones on. Sorry, that is not his fault. Oh my God. Stay woke. Oh Lord Jesus.
And rape your girls. You better believe it. Donald Trump wanted to give these kids a death penalty, and he took out a full-page ad to put the pressure on. These children, 4 of them under 18, all went to adult prisons for 6 to 11 years before DNA evidence proved they were all innocent.
We make them their crime. That's how we introduce them.
I'm feeling pressed by artists pressed in the movie.
AKA.
We are officially going to kill Raven.
As a collective.
Yes.
Let me get out of here. Y'all already know I got that record. I'm not going back.
I know that's right.
Let me out.
That last part was mine. I forgot I had track 8 lined up. I'm sorry.
It's so hot. It's so hot. It just jumps out there. Like I was ready to go with it. Like, oh yeah. That's right. That's how hot it is.
Right.
So are we done? Did the video play all the way through?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was only 30,
I don't know.
I'm in at 36 seconds.
I don't know if you heard what they were saying, but that was Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump calling the youth super predators. They should be put into prison. They should be murdered. They should get the death penalty. And on some of those cases, like I said, Donald Trump even took out a complete full-page ad saying why that these 4 boys should be killed. And come to find out, DNA proved after they spent 6 to 11 years in prison that they were indeed innocent. This is the man that you voted for out here. I didn't vote for him. I know people want to call him the people's president. I'm sticking with that. Not my president.
Well, you
because nobody has nothing to say when that was going on with Obama, and I don't even agree with all of that right now. And I voted for him. So,
but when you think about that, when you think about these 4 children, they were children sent to adult prison. Like, first of all, the psyche after that is completely shattered. You know, these were kids. You know, the rape. How many times some boys got violated in a place being accused of rape? And you understand what I'm saying? They were accused of rape, so you're automatically a target when you go in prison anyway. You understand what I'm saying? Because they don't like them.
Now, Malcolm, you work in the juvenile system and you see children get transferred over as adults. How common is this for an African American child to be transferred over as adult versus a white child?
Well, it used to be real common. The law just changed a couple months ago where there's not a mandatory bind over anymore unless it's murder. The juvenile judges decide if a kid can be bound over or not. A lot of times they was bound in the juvenile robbery suspects over rape. You know, it was a mandatory bind over. Now it's not a mandatory bind over. The Supreme Court of Ohio changed the law a couple months ago.
Do you think that anything with the recent Florida cases and Trayvon Martin might have had anything to do with it, seeing as if the prosecutor, Angela Corey, was known for sentencing children to prison, long-term prison and life sentences? By the way, you guys, 1 in 9 Black men are in prison serving life sentences, and 1 in 3 Black men within their lifetime are likely to go to prison. So I just wanted to state that real quick before Malcolm went ahead and gave us his reasoning for this policy, this recent policy change.
Well, it's all about money, really. You know, the juvenile system don't really want to keep kids in the juvenile system, and so they transfer them over to adult prison. So what adult does now, they have kind of rejected the bind overs and sent them back to the juvenile department. So juvenile will pay to house them, and they usually end up going to the Department of Youth Services, and they can be there until they're 21 years old.
Now, so I know you say it's about money. So does that mean that the government doesn't want to house the children because it's more expensive for the government versus privatization of prisons, which will go more in depth in our next show when we go to really break down the privatization, the corporation, and the monetization? But are you saying that this is one of the reasons that the government doesn't want to do it? It's just cheaper to pay private people to send them over to prison where there's really no reform?
Well, in the adult system, it takes more security to really house the teenagers and the under 30. I think it's under 30 where they have like certain prisons where they send like the teenagers, 17, 18, 19-year-olds, they have a different spot. But in the juvenile system, they send them to a place where they're able to house them at. So the state of Ohio doesn't want that. They don't want to, have to have extra security or whatever, because they're more different. They're more about punishment. You get into the adult system, they're trying to punish you. It's not always about retaliation and sending you back, out in the public, depending on what you've done. But juvenile prison is all about, let me get you ready to send you back out into the community.
So do you think that the juvenile system actually works on reform for the child versus the adult system?
I don't think that the juvenile system is really successful in really getting kids ready to go back into the community. I think that a lot of times the juvenile system is preparing kids for the adult system.
The prison, yeah.
Right. And that's the sad part about it, because that's what happens. Usually kids, they go through the juvenile system, they get slapped on the hand, you can carry a weapon, you're not doing time for it, you might get probation, depending on, what magistrate you get. So it's really, I think we just preparing these kids for the next level. And then when they get to the next level, it's a big wake-up call, because they're not playing with you over in the adult system. You're going to pay some money to get out. You're going to have, the bail. You're going to have, and you're doing time, so.
It's all about the dollar, because it's, pretty much you can't pay for the crime that you did. It's all about the codes and the dollar. The violations are all corporate policies. I mean, at the end of the day, but we'll talk about that another time when we
I
speak
read
on some other
something.
shows.
I
We'll
read
go deep into
something,
that.
and I said something about it last week about that you made a comment about a judge in Florida, and I read something that states like the judge's power kind of like was taken away a little bit because of the mandatory
Stand your
sentencing.
ground.
Right.
Okay, man. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. I
So
heard
with
about
that,
too
the
in
prosecutors,
California.
right, the prosecutors have more control because when they come to you, they're already offering you what they think you should take. You understand what I'm saying? So when you take that, you automatically pleading guilty. You don't fight. Most people don't want to fight if they say, well, I'm going to give you 3 years of probation or you can take this to trial and you get 30 years.
Right.
So most people are like automatically just thrown back, like, right, they don't even want to fight.
Yes,
And they
it's
could
a
be
battle.
innocent. It was a gentleman on that documentary 13 that hung himself out of New York because he went to prison and he fought it because he wasn't guilty, and he was in prison for 3 years in a county waiting. They had footage of him being jumped on, continuously beat up from the staff, from the police officers that were there for him to come out, and they made a big thing about it. He was on the news and everything.
I
But if he
remember
wouldn't
that.
have spoke out, then he would have just been another guy in prison. But he stood his ground. But the mental and the psyche that affected him afterwards, he couldn't go back out into the world. And he was only 22 years old when he killed himself. You understand what I'm saying? So that's so when you take kids and you put them in a situation like this, when you really do have people in there that are really threats to their own self,
right?
And you take this innocent person and you put them in a cage with an animal, what do you expect them to come out as?
An animal. They got to fight to survive, and it becomes a battle for their lives.
Yeah, sad.
And that's why the state of Ohio, they don't want the juveniles in the system because it costs them so much more money to protect them. And
So they just want to pat them on the back, give them a slap on the wrist, send them home,
or send them
Right.
to prison.
Well, they send them back. They send them back to the juvenile
Right.
system. And when they do send them into the adult system, it's a whole different thing. Most of the cases are solved even before they come to the judge. It's usually they do plea agreements before they even come in. You know, they agree how long they're going to serve. They agree how many years of probation. Or they threaten you, if we take this to trial, you can get double time that I'm offering you.
Yeah,
That's
So that's
exactly how they come at you.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
that's
then you
how
be
they-
so scared, like, okay, I'm gonna take it, but you didn't put an X on your back, and not even you didn't mark it yourself. You took it and branded yourself.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Like,
but you feel like you have no choice anyway because for the simple reason,
it's like crabs in a barrel.
yeah, it's just somebody trying to climb to the top. Like,
Because
I want to be the top
our
crab.
people are uneducated to the fact, and which
Just
led
like
me
the
up
education.
to going, the exact same thing happened to me because I never been in trouble. First time, I get a little speeding ticket or unpaid parking ticket. That's nothing. You run down there and you pay it, But to go to prison for what I went to prison for, this is what it was. Just like you said, they come at you and you think, oh my God,
If I fight it,
I better do it.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
And most of the
You know.
people that are in the system, they end up with public defenders,
Yeah.
Public pretenders. Absolutely.
And and they getting paid big money just to
pump fake.
represent
They
you.
pump fake.
And-
They got cahoots. Like,
Right, and then, like I said, most of the stuff is already figured out even before they come
Before
to
you get in there.
Yeah, they always
Before you
figured
get
out.
in there.
Right, and that's why I say education is the key. I mean, you
Exactly.
educated in everything. I mean, that's why I said GED, high school diploma. They can't take that from you. They can't take that away from you. And then if you blessed to go to the next level and get a college degree or go to get a technical degree, then that even opens up more doors for you. So that's what I'm about. That's what I tell my kids that I work with. And I mean, I'm all over the city and I'm saying the same thing. Get your education, they can't take that from you. They might be able to take your car from you and repossess it. They might be able to repossess your house, but they can't take your education. That's
That's
one
okay.
thing. Nobody can take my degree away from you.
but I'm not gonna discredit Columbus too, because
Yeah.
over the last year, last year was like monumental as far as like kids actually graduating.
Right.
You understand? So it's like
But you know
it's
why
kind of
that
a
is?
turnover.
Because now you have these charter schools that are really working
Yeah.
with the kids. You got Focus, you got Life Skills, you got Bridgescape. these schools are really doing a lot to help get our kids out of high school because they can't make it in public schools. Public schools usually, what's going to happen in public schools is in the long run that they're going to lose all their kids because most of them going to go to Bridgegate, Focus, life skills because you can go to school 4 hours a day and you out. Now, which one would you take? 8 hours or 4 hours?
Right.
You know, and then
I'll
graduate.
take 4 for $200.
Right. Okay, well,
I second
you know what,
that.
guys? I have a really important fact. I'm wondering, did you guys know that their changes in law and policy have been the only changes? There have not been changes in the crime rates. So the crimes are still the same, but the policy and laws are what's causing the increase in prisons. And also some information from the Sentencing Project. They say that evidence proves large-scale incarceration is not an effective means of achieving public safety. So in other words, basically when you lock up these people, say for instance, you lock up Pookie on the corner for 10 years for a drug crime, even though, you know, he over here only got 1 year. There's 10 more Pookies. There's someone who's going to come out there who's going to replace Pookie, and it's going to happen all over again. So they're saying that it's not an effective means of public safety.
They
if
want
you don't
you
have positive reform going on.
They don't want. They don't really care. I mean, like if you commit a murder, for sure they're gonna want to lock you up. If you commit a rape, for sure they're gonna want to lock you up. But at the same time, when drug cases is really what the prisons want, like you can get off for killing somebody, you know, you get 10 years and you get caught with an ounce of crack. You know what I mean? You got 50 to life. You understand what I'm saying? And
Yeah, that's why.
But that's what it's for. Like, that's what it's for. Like, they don't care. They stop it. Hey, my aunt just did 6 years in the penitentiary, right? She just got out. She live in Chicago. They are so overcrowded in Chicago's system that she's on probation. She's on probation and she smokes weed. I said, Auntie, you can't be smoking weed and you on probation. She said, well, they ain't gonna even take me to jail for that.
Right.
Because it's so overcrowded. People are just getting sent out because they got misdemeanors. Like, they'll laugh at you if you come in there because you got violated because you was smoking some weed. They're not even gonna hold you because they don't got the room.
I'm living in the wrong state.
I'm telling you. Right. She was like, my probation officer, I ain't even finna get in trouble because they're not gonna send me to jail because it's overcrowded.
Non-violent crime.
And I'm going to Waukegan. Waukegan, Illinois. I'm on my way.
The overcrowded prison systems, the fiscal burdens on the state. I mean, we're looking at a $59.6 billion that's spent. 2015, I think the record shows on state prison budget alone.
Yeah,
Hold on.
For each head.
Go ahead.
Now, you saying it's $59.6 billion that the state spends? Well, what about all the money that
Black
our families spend?
We're going to get
money
way
on the
deep
phone,
into that.
We got money on commissary. And then for our brothers, fathers, and uncles and nephews who's locked up that are in prison.
Sister, mother, and aunties too, because more people are going to prison too.
Well, I know the war on drugs.
Wait. What you say, Paco?
Contain market. It's like the Carter. These are somewhere we can sit back.
Yeah, but you got so many of these people. You got these billionaires. They shedding so much money into this. It's a private practice. Like, that's their money.
How many vendors tied to the penitentiary?
Yeah, Walmart. Oh, we ain't gonna throw them out there. Like, we got Walmart, JCPenney, Victoria's Secret for the women and all that pink.
Agencies are involved. I mean,
you feel me? But they the main
that's why you're
supporters.
sure to be supporting Walmart or any of those businesses.
Yeah, you
seeing
got
how majority of those businesses support prison.
Stop celebrating the paganist holidays.
It's not just Christmas. Every single holiday is
Easter.
Every single holiday has nothing to do with our history. Nothing.
That's even stop supporting Black Friday, like my son over here said, because this is how we stick together, by hitting them back in their pockets. It goes back to what I was saying in the beginning. If we stop celebrating these paganist ass holidays, what the fuck does the Easter Bunny got to do with allegedly Jesus rising on the third day? A chicken egg at that. You got a chicken egg with a rabbit.
A rabbit that kind of
well, I mean, you know the truth behind
chocolate
that.
Eggs.
Is
but a rabbit
so beyond
lays a litter A chicken lays eggs. Come on, man.
That's what it was all
Yeah,
about. If you
that's
know
just-
anything. I mean, a side note about Easter, if you really want to know, the
Bullshit.
original holiday is called Ishtar, and the rabbit does represent the fertility of the bunnies, like you said. So we know that it's pagan in nature.
It's a fuck day.
Just in case you didn't know that about Easter, it has nothing to do with Jesus Christ. It just happened to be the time that they were celebrating and when Good Friday fell, and that was the day that he was taken in. Well, I mean, that's what
we're gonna leave
history
it at that.
says. So we'll leave that where that is.
All right.
But back to this, 1982, the war on drugs began, and that was with Richard Nixon. And then I have a chart here that shows from 1982 to 2006, we were spending about $4.9 billion. Now we're at a 420% increase. So just in case, I don't know, can they see this? See that? Show it. 420% increase right there on state funding. Expenditures, money that is spent out. So Pam, I know that you had served a time in prison. Do you want to tell us about that? I don't know if you want to go into details about it, or do you want to talk? Did you feel victimized when it came to getting time as far as the crime that you got versus the crime someone else with the same criminal record, and it's shown that this has happened throughout time? Do you feel like you got the time that you deserved, or do you feel like you got over the time that you deserved? And how did it affect you?
I do feel like I got the time that I deserve. I mean, let's just be honest. I went to jail for murder. So I was appreciative to come out with 10 years. Because of the system, I considered myself pretty damn lucky for the simple fact they throwing life sentences out like water running out of the faucet. So when they said 10 years, I took it and ran because I was ignorant to the fact. Because I didn't have a record, I could have simply told the prosecutor, fuck no. Then let's take it to the box or let's debate about it. That's because I was ignorant, uneducated at the time. I didn't, at that time, no, I could have got a lesser sentence. I could have got off maybe 5 years, 7 years. 3. Maybe.
Yeah.
But because I was uneducated to the fact, so I rolled with the first thing
that you could get.
That
just
I
like,
could
you know
get.
what? Let me just take this. I just want to go
Which
home.
is sad, which is what says different, because I have it hits home to me because I watched a little boy grow up. You understand what I'm saying? And his first offense was 18 to life.
There's
That's
some
what
of
he
those
got.
mandatory laws, like you said, in Florida and California.
It was murder. It was here. It was murder. But that boy never had a record. He didn't have a juvenile. He didn't have a record. Nothing.
Product of your environment.
18, and he gave a full confession. Like, and when you watch TV and you watch Cox First Party Yacht and all of this and yada yada yada, it make it seem like, oh, we're here to help you. Like they took that young man's words and they used that against him. You understand what I'm saying? That he's not gonna be able to go see the parole board until he's 36. Never had a kid. Or nothing. I just got that.
He from? Is he from?
He's from here. He's from
Ohio?
He's from my neighborhood. I watched him. He was 8 years old when I moved out there.
Well, I was locked up with a female who's serving 888 year sentence.
You can't even live for 888 years. So
that's ridiculous.
I mean, Malcolm, do they have anything in the works? I was hearing some recent rumors regarding some stipulations on the whole total amount of years that he can give in, about 100 years or something like that maximum, or something like that. I mean, you can't serve. I mean, honestly, people are
800
years. Come on,
888 in
what
one
is
day.
The principle of
in
this?
one day?
This is for years that they can't even possibly.
Well, now they just changed it to life or no parole, and that eliminates the number of years.
Yeah.
Even though a guy just got sentenced to 4 life sentences, which means you'll never get out.
What is the guidelines of a life sentence? It still have to be a number. Does that mean 50 years?
Well,
is that 100? It's 25 years of life sentence?
They're starting to put infinity on there. That means, they're starting to say life sentence, infinity.
Till you die.
Yeah, because you're not going to have a parole hearing. You're not. So they don't even waste their time with it.
Because it used to be 25 years, what then they would be considered that a life sentence. And then I know some people were out here protesting that fact. And then it bumped up to 50 years was a life sentence.
Well, then you have those additions where you can get sentenced to 25 years, but it'll say 25 years to life. So that means that you can't even go to the parole board until you serve 25 years.
And let me be clear on something while we talking about life sentences because I've been on the inside. And let me just say this: when we talk about a life sentence and we say 25 to life, okay, you go to the parole board in 25 years. The parole board has the authority to flop you another 25 years. That does not mean you're getting out in 25 years.
No.
They can flop you all the way up to what the hell they want to do to you.
But you do have the possibility of going to the parole board. If you get flopped to that next 25 years, you have the possibility, depending on what state that you're in, either every 2 years or every 3 years, to go to the parole board and ask to get out.
Okay, well, I know we do have
But
some
with the
reform
mental,
laws. Go ahead.
with the mental though, you understand what I'm saying? Like you go serve 25 years, you would never be able to go back and serve.
I have a good friend now.
You
that's
would
out.
You
was
would.
a
You
lifer.
would. You know, you just can't. I mean, unless you really want to, but the average person is not going to be able to come back and go into the world. You understand what I'm saying? And function. Function.
Well, I beg to differ on that. My parole officer said it. She was a bitch. She put that jack, slammed it down, and said, "I'll retire before you make it off parole. I guarantee you'll be locked back up before I retire." That pissed me the fuck off. You got me fucked up. But see, she labeled me. She labeled me and said I will not make it.
But that gave you your fire. Not everybody got that. Not everybody gonna say, "Oh, I'm gonna prove you wrong."
The system is designed to tear us down. And that black woman, she said that. I never even got a speeding ticket till I got off parole. Till I got off. I will not have a run-in or any altercation with the law.
I worry about the people's psyche. When I say that, like my
it was bad for me.
Did 366 days in the hole, right? So at the time in Minnesota,
explain what the hole is. Some people might not know what the
hole is. Solitary confinement.
You don't. It's just you. He was naked
by yourself
the whole time.
You're in the room by yourself.
He was naked. It wasn't a window. It was a hole in the floor, and that's what it was.
Yeah.
For 3. Nah, he was locked up in Minnesota. Like just a hole in the wall. It's bad. Yeah, like naked. But it makes us. The point I'm going to is the psyche. You know, in Minnesota, if you serve 5 years or you do 365 days, the reason why he did 366 because it was a leap year. But if you do 365 days, you have to go up for a mental evaluation upon release. If you do 5 years in a penitentiary, you're supposed to go up for mental evaluation. This is in Minnesota.
So I need to require a mental evaluation.
It's required in Minnesota.
For how long?
For a year.
For a year.
Consecutively.
Why would someone be sentenced to the hole? Malcolm, can you enlighten us on why someone could possibly be sentenced to solitary confinement for a complete
because of the behavior that you display?
Yeah.
It's the behavior that you display in the penitentiary.
When my ex-husband went to the federal prison, he was 19. He was a kid.
Did they give him any counseling?
He was so afraid.
Fed time, you get big boy time.
Yeah, he did fed.
I did state time.
No, he did fed time.
Fed time, you get in double digits.
He did fed time.
That's why it's called fed.
But he was so afraid. You understand what I'm saying? Like he was in a maximum security prison. 19 years old for a conspiracy charge. They never even got nothing from him. He did those years on his back. You understand what I'm saying? But he was so afraid.
And then, I feel like only the strong can survive.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing I can say within that system, because I ain't gonna sit here and talk all tough. It was days where I was down and out, and I'm like, man, fuck it, because I've seen so many people slitting their wrists, dangling from the ceiling, fucking with my mental. I seen all that, but then I had to just wake up. I went to solitary confinement to get my life together. So being in prison, being incarcerated wasn't all that bad for me. For me, though, because it's about what I wanted for myself. I utilized the environment that I was in to not become them. Just to be
institutionalized is the word.
Institutionalized, thank you. So I utilized that to be able to change my life. Only the strong can survive, and that's the only thing that I can say. It's about, you could take a negative and turn it into a positive.
Okay, well,
But you don't have that. You know, when you don't have
I want
that,
to bring up. And
you did good. You did great. You beat the statistics. You understand what I'm saying? But how many people fall short? How many people fall short of that?
I don't know if I beat it because I don't got a job. I'm
breathing.
Do you breathe? You breathe. I'm a free man, but I don't know.
Well, I know we got some reform laws that I wanted to go over. There have been some changes in the state on the state level. I'm not quite sure for Ohio, but I know California voters passed a ballot that measure Proposition 47 in 2014, and it reclassifies the certain low-level property and drug crimes. And we know a lot of people were getting the war to drug had happened in 1982, 1992, dare to keep the kids off of drugs, and all that crookedness with Watergate that we won't get into. But with that being said, there have been some new propositions that are on the market to try to change what's going on and possibly, like we said, reduce the whole overall life sentence objective that's really pointless as it goes.
I would say that would be great, except for we have this person that was just elected who's trying to change all that was just done. You know, if you
so you think that because of Trump that this possibly could change?
He's already in the process of changing things that was just done in the last couple of years.
I mean, I know that he's focused on Obamacare and things like that, but do you know for a fact that he's trying to stop this reform law right here?
He.
And do you know what would be the purpose of our president to stop this proposition?
What, Obamacare?
No. The Proposition 47 in California, because, you know, they had the stand your ground law, and that got Trayvon Martin off. Angela Corey, that I spoke about earlier, who is the one who imprisons a lot of people, a lot of kids for long-term sentences. Well, she was the same one in the Trayvon Martin case who let George Zimmerman off. So that's the same person in that case. So California has revised some of their recent laws. What I'm saying to you, Angel, is do you know of any recent laws to imply that about our president right now?
I'm going to
because we want to imply facts. We don't want to just.
No. I
don't like Donald Trump either.
I didn't say I didn't like him.
I don't like Donald Trump.
Those were not my words.
Those are my words. I do not like Donald Trump. He is not my president.
When we leave here,
I do not care how anybody wants to put that. I do not.
Every time I talk about the 13th Amendment. So
now, with that being said, I know that we have Cy Mandela in the building. And we have Casey London, and we're going to be doing a live performance. So if you could go ahead and prepare that track for them, Raven. We got a Black Lives Matter song coming up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide my mic on over here to Casey and let him go ahead and get up on this rap.
Are we taking a break, y'all?
Him and Cy Mandela. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Let me know when they're ready. Y'all ready?
About to go ahead and do this live.
Yeah, you got to get off them headphones.
Okay, y'all want to hear it. They want me to come up off my headphones.
Yeah,
don't hear it?
Nah, I don't know if y'all can hear it. I'm going to stay playing up here.
Low. No, obviously not.
Move your mic.
What's your mic?
This is a political song. While he's getting that ready, why don't you go ahead and tell hit it then. We on fire,
Money mission. Let's get it.
The beat plug.
Too many stress in these streets for these niggas that be playing around with the heat. Cop killing kids, we don't get no justice, that's why we not living in peace. Too many stress in these streets for these niggas that be playing around with the heat. Cop killing kids, we don't get no justice, that's why we not living in peace. Too many stress in the street for these niggas that be playing around with the heat. Cop killing kids, we don't get no justice, that's why we not living in peace. Too many stress in these streets for these niggas that be playing around with the hate. Cop killing kids, we don't get no justice. That's why we not living in peace. Shooting the kid make you weak. Sometimes you cop me to think. How would you feel if someone took yours and took them right off of the streets? We sit together like peas. How you gonna hate on a team? We at the top like a king. Protesters working like bees. I pay for my wrongs, I pay for my rights. So how was we landed up free? And some of my people are starving, but most of my people can't eat. How do you leave people homeless when you living life like a king? We sick and tired of all the bullshit. There's too many stress in these streets. Too many stress in these streets for these niggas that be playing around with the hate. Cop killing kids, we don't get no justice. That's why we not living in peace. Too many stress in these streets for these niggas that be playing around with the hate. Cop killing kids, we don't get no justice. That's why we not living in peace. Too many stress in these streets for these niggas that be playing around with the hate. Cop killing kids, we don't get no justice. That's why we not living in peace. Too many stress in these streets for these niggas that be playing around with the hate. Cop killing kids, we don't get no justice. That's why we not living in peace.
Cop killing kids, we don't get no peace. So why is we live in the streets? I'm trying to get pepper, these niggas is hating. That's why I be keeping the heat. Don't try to play me, these niggas so shaky, man. Why can't they stay on their feet? I'm living my life, I'm taking my time. It should be landed free. Kids out here starving, the richer get richer, but won't get a needed achieve. Life is just life, you just gotta fight. This should be landed free. They lock your ass up when you don't feed them, or you don't get what they need. You don't get justice from the people. So you won't get justice from me.
Too many stress in the street for these niggas that be playing around with the hate. Cop killing kids, we don't get no justice. That's why we not living in the streets. Too many stress in the street for these niggas that be playing around with the hate. Cop killing kids, we don't get no justice. That's why we not living in peace. Too many stress in the street for these niggas that be playing around with the hate. Cop killing kids, we don't get no justice. That's why we not living in peace. Too many stress in the street for these niggas that be playing around with the hate. Cop killing kids, we don't get no justice. That's why we not living in the streets.
All right, you heard it here first. That is Ty Mandela and KC London right there on the track. Black Lives Matter. It's too many stresses in these streets. Please put the guns down. I know you got to find another method that you know that you can disarm people without brutally just gunning them down and murdering them.
Man, ain't nobody trying to take no ass whooping. I'm old school. Like, people you want to fight anymore? Right, like nobody fight. Like,
they sounded like young age.
Nobody wants to fight anymore. Like, where I come from, you don't put up your dukes. Right. And if you lose, go home, do some push-ups.
When you see them again, you just fight again. You feel me? That's how it used to be when I was growing up. That's not how it is anymore.
Man, meet you on the playground at 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock.
The whole school. Right, the whole school. How about that?
How about that?
People just can't take an L nowadays.
No, they do.
It's not real no more.
It ain't even that too though. People that you be fighting, they people come out and shoot you though, so you ain't got no choice.
Right.
If I'm bouncing with you, somebody might just come shoot me.
They just don't like the fact that you was winning.
So why is I'm out? No, they don't start no more. You don't even get to swing.
Well, I know we got the youth up in here, and so Ty Mandela, I know that was song was yours, and Casey featured on it. Can you tell me what the inspiration was behind that song?
So my inspiration really was me. You know me. I'm only 18. I went through my little what I say my rebelliousness or whatever. My hot-headedness is what I call it. I went through my hot-head stage as an early age, and I see a lot of young people out here doing it more younger than what I was doing it. So therefore it made me want to speak to the children and speak to everybody mainly. I felt like this song right here wouldn't just speak to the old heads, because mainly right now in the African American community, it's not a lot of young people paying attention to the Black Lives Matter movement, to the whole Black Power movement itself. Not a lot of young people do that. So in order for you to get to these young people, I feel like it gotta be through music, and not just any type of music. It has to be to the music that connects to the young people right now.
Something that they understand.
Yeah, something that they rock to already now. You know,
basically trying to set a role model for the ones that's upcoming, like the new generation that's coming through. The generation that we are in, we've been through so much just within these 2,000 years. You feel me? Like, we've been through so much, and it's like most people might not look at it because they're older than us. Yeah, we have our elders, and they've been through their little time, but it's always different.
It's a new generation.
Our generation has
That's
been
why
through
they call y'all super predators.
with us, and like with us being
At least
age, like I'm only
we
19,
can speak to him through
and
something.
I went through that, just like he said. I went through the hothead stage, and I'm basically just now getting out of it. I just got out of jail last year.
So what made you decide to make a change in your life?
It's just basically seeing myself not being nothing later in life if I keep doing the things that I used to do. So
It's
it's
the
just
vision that you have for yourself.
It hit me when I went to jail, because like I was really sitting there thinking I shouldn't be in jail if I hadn't did the things that I used to do. So maybe I should do this when I get out of jail. I got off probation my first 3 months. I was supposed to be on probation all the way until I was 21. All they asked me to do was not smoke.
When you went to jail, was there anybody there for you? Or did it affect anybody outside of you yourself?
It didn't affect nobody because I was the only person that made my own mistake.
Did your mother?
I disagree with that.
She came.
I do too.
I disagree with that because what people fail to realize, when you go behind those bars, you're warped, but we're warped too. You understand what I'm saying? We're not behind, we're not in there, we're not physically in there, but mentally we are. Because when you get out, love, we still have to catch you back up. You understand what I'm saying?
That's why I say our generation, because you gotta think about it too. There's certain moms who just don't give a fuck in this world no more. And they just don't give a fuck about that.
But not only just that, the people, not everybody can say they care about. Like when you're in prison, like I remember my grandpa Ron, he spent life in jail. He died in jail. Like, but I can't, and I'm not going to speak about it like I wouldn't speak to my grandfather if he was here today. But I forgot all about my grandfather. I moved on with my life. I have a child. I moved on with my like. He wasn't there no more. So it was like faded away from me. I didn't have to see you, so my memory started to fade away itself. Out of sight, out of mind. So therefore, people inside, they go through the most, not the people on the outs. You feel me?
That's not for everybody, because I disagree with that for the simple reason, when I was locked up, the ones that went through it the most were my children.
He was locked up. I said they locked up. They won't let me out.
They sure wouldn't, man. No matter how hard I fought.
What were you locked up?
That's a whole nother show right there.
Okay.
But I'm just gonna say that my kids suffered, my parents suffered, and I got out and I got on probation because my dad was sick. My dad ended up passing away not too long after I got out. And when they put you on probation, it's a setup, because it doesn't matter. You can be the best character and have good character witness, but if somebody says that you have done something, automatically they want to try and make it a charge, and you end up right back where you just came from.
It's not innocent. It's not innocent until proven guilty is guilty already. No matter what, you're guilty.
You're guilty.
Well, let me say, I don't do that. I mean, I know a lot of probation officers that, they really care about their kids.
I had one that was a bitch.
Well,
she took things that other people did and said I was there.
Yeah. But I'm not like that. I think that nobody's gonna be perfect. Number one, I mean, the kids that I've had, they make mistakes every day, just like we do. And it's not necessarily to file a motion, put them back in DH or whatever. But I want to speak to what the young men were saying. Whatever you do affects everybody. You know, if somebody gets killed, one of your buddies get killed, it's affecting their family. This is something that they're carrying the rest of their life. When you locked up, I've seen a lot of kids locked up, their parents don't even come see them. Or their homies don't even come see them. They don't even
make that statement.
Exactly, but I'm saying,
she really didn't let me finish.
I know I'm guilty of not going to see my father. I will say that.
What I'm saying is, what happens to a lot of these kids, they running with these dudes, hanging on the corner with them. They don't even write them a letter. They could be gone 6-9 months or whatever. And then when you come out, they stand on the same corner like, "What's up?"
Exactly.
Nobody cares.
They want to be in your face. That's one thing that I was saying. That's the main thing that I was saying. Like your mother, like my mom, she came and see me when she could. Like she always had the time to come and see me, but she came and see me when she wanted to come and see me.
Right.
And it hurted my feelings. So that's what made me kind of like just think about like, why am I even here? I wouldn't even have to be going through this situation if I hadn't did the mistake.
Whatever you do affects somebody. Somebody's going to be affected by your behavior. Whatever you do, if you get locked up, somebody's hurt. Not just you, somebody else, your family, whoever. And I think a lot of times we don't think that through. You know, we feel like, okay, we can go out
In
here.
my situation, I can't say that, and I tell people this all the time. What I got locked up for, I didn't do. Now that's not to say my name is Angel, but I am not perfect. And I didn't get locked up for the things that I did do, and maybe that's just my karma coming back for getting locked up for something that I didn't do. But being locked up, and then not only being locked up, but being locked up thousands of miles away from your family where you can't get a visit, where you can't see your kids, you can't see your parents. My dad was sick, and I took an amendment for more time of probation in order to get out just so I can see my dad because he was sick. They transported me back home. I was able to spend a little bit more time with my dad, whereas I wouldn't have been able to spend time with my dad. But then again, like I said, probation for real, is a setup.
You know what?
Because you get not just for the youth, for anybody that decides to take a plea. If you take a plea, and like I said, there was things that I didn't do what I got locked up for. And if I had taken it to the box, but you think about taking it to the box, and it's like you got to keep going down there. Then they got to try and make sure the witnesses come down there. Then they got to make sure, and it keeps getting prolonged, continue. And you know, if anybody knows anything about the justice system, there's like so many contingencies that you can have: the prosecutor, the public defender, this person, that person, everybody else. It doesn't work for you, and you get tired. Okay, I'm taking a plea so I can get it over and done with. It hurt my kids. My children were in good hands because my kids were well taken care of. But in the long run, my children now are very angry. My children are very resentful for the simple reason I was missing out of the years that were important to them.
Right.
And I should have been there, but I wasn't there. Like I tell my kids all the time, and my children know my story, and I still preach to my children, the truth shall set you free. Even though I told the truth and my ass got locked up, but still.
That goes back to the system.
Well, you know what it goes back to?
It's not geared for you.
It doesn't work
successful.
for you. It's not made for you. So I want to go over this. People of color account for 37% of the U.S. population. Black people in particular account for approximately overall 13%. From recent numbers, 12.2 to 12.6%, I'll say. White non-Hispanics account for 64%. Hispanics alone, 16%. So when you combine those two numbers together with Hispanics, blacks, and other minorities, they only accumulate for 37%. Now, out of the U.S. percentage of incarcerated population, 40% of black people are imprisoned. 40%.
Let me say this. The blacks, what the young youth need to understand, black families can't afford these cases.
Thank you.
See, young dudes get locked up and call home like motherfucker put the house up, supposed to have you got some secret money you can save their life with, but you don't.
When you leave jail, bro, you have nothing.
But that's what your parents are affected at, because you don't know what a mama out there thinking to save your ass, but she can't because they got you.
Right.
You feel me? I just sat in jail with my whole family before. My father, my brother, my other brother, and me. You feel me? When we used to eat dinner at home, we sat in jail. They had a whole reproductive. Our family couldn't have babies because they had all the men locked up.
Malcolm, do you feel like
damn, for real?
Oh my God!
So when we came to our visit, they had us one big table, and they was like the Joneses. And then we come out there because they got my whole family that used to be in the house in jail. You feel me? Father doing 8, brother doing 4.5, me and my other brother doing 2.
Malcolm, what I was going to ask you is, do you think that racial profiling has a lot to do why there's far more African American men? I mean, do you feel like working down there personally, the areas that are patrolled are more patrolled or urban and cultural? Do you feel like that there's a stereotype that's been put out as far as that mass media that's showing the black man incarcerated as if this image is supposed to be okay, to desensitize the reality of what's really going on? These are people and not monsters. These are children and not super predators, as people like Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump stated. So what is your outlook on that?
Well, definitely we're being racially profiled, you know. I mean, the system's not fair. We all know that. We know that they you know, they target our young black boys, you know, they go to the place, like sometimes they go to the clubs, you know, I don't know how many clubs they have now because I don't go to clubs, but I'm just saying they have the teen clubs. The police sit right out there and wait on them to come out the club. You know, they sitting out there and watch them come right out, and then they start picking with them. You know, the same thing with the young adult men, 25 to 40. They out there waiting on them to come out. They're sitting over there by White Castle. You know, they do all that. They
What do
sit
you
there
think
waiting
that
on
we
them.
could do as individuals in the community who are having frustrations with the police department? I know I've had recent contact with the spokesman over there, and he's willing to, you know, call in. We want to try to be preventive, especially with summer coming, with all of the deaths going on. But what do you think that we can do
We need to
as
educate.
individual?
We need to educate our black young men and our black people.
And what about the ones who are acting a fool out there?
Well, that's what I'm saying. We need to talk to them as leaders. We need to talk to them like, look, hey, stay away from them clubs like that. You know what's going on. They're going to sit out there and wait on you. You know, these after joint clubs, they waiting on you to do something. They don't care how many people we kill. You know, they don't care if another black dude gets killed over on Livingston. They're going to come out there, you know, do their little due diligence, and then they're done.
Music is a major reason too. Though.
Yeah.
And I like music, I make it though, but
right,
music got this shit, turned this shit to hell.
Right,
You
and
know,
everybody
because-
fighting against each other because he's out rapping
Because
him.
all you hear
Yeah.
is chant, kill a nigga, kill a nigga. You feel me? Not one of these hard rappers running around talking about kill a white person in their raps. They scared to say it. For one, all these hard dudes be talking about kill a nigga. Ain't one motherfucker said one of these raps. They so neat when it come to kill a nigga, touch a nigga up. You feel me? Touch a white motherfucker up. You feel me? rap about that shit. You know what I'm saying?
I was saying that music is promoting violence towards black people are promoting.
Let's talk about killing the KKK, y'all.
Right, but now what's the
Hold on. Let's not talk about killing anybody.
I'm talking about
all
the
for
music.
humanity,
I'm talking about the content of music in the black life. Everybody chanting it, so it's like you practicing something.
I mean, so why even talk about killing anybody? Why not talk about just changing the language of our own, you know, music?
You gotta reach out to those influences.
I mean, I'm sure when they do, you know, rock or whatever, that's their choice. If they want to be in there, they say praising the devil or whatever they doing. You can't really stop that, but we can have control over us. So I mean, the music industry makes a lot of money, and this goes really deep into some spiritual levels.
Rap music is so powerful.
Yes, it's so changeable.
It's spiritual.
It's so changeable. I mean,
Of course it has power.
Spiritual.
It's so good that we got this music because I mean, look at the commercials and stuff that they trying to market nowadays, like the cigarette commercials. Hip hop and R&B changes the world, literally. They make it into your cigarette songs and cigarette videos and commercials, so you don't smoke cigarettes. Now I bet you probably we have a reduced amount of kids, teenagers smoking cigarettes.
So you're saying based on
media? It look
media.
like back then it was cool to smoke it. Now it's not cool.
Right.
Now I'm
talking
about candy cigarettes.
Oh yes, we did have candy cigarettes, candy bubblegum cigarettes too.
See, that's what we
You
had.
inhale them and they actually
Growing
blow
up,
smoke out.
Man, it was cool to go
Why do you
get a
think it's
candy cigarette.
Like, because like if any positive music, they gonna tell you shut the fuck up.
Following the crowd.
You feel me? But when a nigga dope and he doing all this stuff though, like, and you can just see how he influenced the youth though. Like the youth ain't listening to us. You feel me? Because they got somebody who dropping the tape right now and they living this guy life. You feel me? They sell drugs like he say sell drugs. They kill like he say kill. They dress like move like
I don't give a fuck.
They cross like you feel me?
Do you
But
think
it's
as
good.
an artist, Paco, with that being said, that you have a social responsibility for the music that you actually create and you put out? I mean, we heard Cyrus' song. We didn't get to the enthusiasm of that. Let him answer his question first, and then we're going to let Cyrus answer his question, and then we're going to go to break for a couple minutes. We're coming back with Casey performing Wrong One. Cyrus, are you performing your live hit? 10 Toes Challenge is what's going on live here in the Divas Corner Talk Show. So go ahead and Paco, can you answer that question for us before we take our break? I'm gonna whoop you.
Oh, the music.
Do you feel like you have a social
responsibility
responsibility regarding the music that you
I
create?
think if you're a very effective performer, you gotta know your power though. Like it's like you the devil and you sit back over a big microphone over the world, like you feel me? Like the more evil and money you get, you spend this shit across the thing. Yeah, you do got a responsibility to let the kids know like that. It's just entertainment too, though. Like at the end of the day, that nigga gotta go raise his kids, pay his bill, pay attention to all the paperwork. You feel me?
Right.
He ain't just sitting there drinking bottles and count money. See, they don't see that part though.
Yeah, that's just like Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg is a performer, but nobody knows that he has a son. Has a son that plays football. He's a totally different person.
And Snoop Dogg is the coach.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
Snoop Dogg put it out there though,
right?
But Snoop Dogg don't have the influence like these other guys got. This shit dangerous. Yo, Gotti, you guys we like. They just powerful.
But listen to how many people listen to. As soon as somebody comes out and they actually start to spread their true life, like them living the life that they don't rap. As soon as somebody comes out, you start to see how reduced fans they have, how those fans transfer to somebody who's so-called more likely doing it rather than the next person. That's why young music itself is so teed, and people try to do that so much.
Disrespectful and conquer is a conquer game. If you ain't coming harder and disrespectful,
so you're saying really there's a lot of divisive imaging of blacks, but being criminalized, and this is what society has come to recognize the black person as, black people as. Yeah, we're doing a lot of killing each other.
We go rally when cops kill a black person, but when a black kill a black,
everybody want to turn their head. Oh wow, they killed, they killed John again. Oh,
what we give them? We give them as a T-shirt and RIP.
But that
we put more money into it because they actually out there purchasing those T-shirts.
Or take the 40 and dump a little bit. It's for my homie.
And it's in the songs, marketing in the songs.
Right. Upset though, like you see, my phone line will shoot up your funeral. You feel me?
And they talking about it because it's portrayed in the music, like you said. And so I really think that you do have a social responsibility. I was glad to see. I was glad when I heard this song. When I heard this track from you, Cy Mandela, I had to put it on track. I had to play it because I knew that it was speaking to the people of this time. And so I know you said some of your inspiration was just, you being young, being a father, and really feeling like as a young person, you need to have a voice to speak out. And that's part of the reason why you went ahead and laid this track down.
Yeah.
I can tell you officially, I'm really proud of you regarding this track. Now, I know about your name. Let's go into that. I know you chose the name Cy Mandela.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead and tell me for a reason why you do that. And then go ahead and shine that up in the air. What's that on your arm?
It's,
go ahead and show them that.
My handcuffs, golden handcuffs, broken away from the other half because it's my way of showing that you will never be able to tie me down. You will never be able to label me as a black statistic that will be prisonized in this system. This is my way of showing the world. And if I can trend set it, then I would love for everybody to go around.
Please go get
wear some golden handcuffs.
Don't wear it with the other part on it because
it make a movement.
Break that chain.
But my name Cy Mandela came from me. Well, Nelson Mandela, when I seen that movie, Nelson Mandela,
I'm
really
into documentaries.
Me. So I watch a lot of African-American Black history movies, especially the new ones that was coming out. Like the Nelson Mandela one really changed me. And from that moment, I changed my name to Cy Mandela, not only just because of Nelson Mandela, but because I felt like I had a good connection with that. I felt like I was bringing a lot of people together because I lived all over and every side of town, the north side, west side, south side, east side. So it's kind of hard for me, myself, to claim one side of town when you've literally been cool with every side. I've grown up with every side. So growing up and watching these people stay on one side of town and claim one side, I don't want to be like that. I'd rather be the type of person to bring everyone together. And when I do get around my peoples, you got no choice to be cool around me and mine, because me and the family that I hang around with, when we say this person's cool, whether you have beef on this side of town, that side of town, you have no choice but to be cool with this person in this home. So therefore, my name is Cy Mandela. Bring these streets together as one. Bring all my brothers together.
All right, I'm really empowered to see a brother doing such a thing like that, especially an 18-year-old. It was 7:48, so we're going to take a 2-minute break going in. Just before we go into the break, I just wanted to go ahead and throw a little fact out there. Bill Clinton's 3 strikeout law, that prison life mandate, it was removing the judge's discretion, as you were speaking about, Angel, earlier. And so I wanted to really pinpoint on that. Some judges are really pinpoint and tied by the policies and law changes, and they have to give you that minimum life sentence because That's what the law provides. So some people aren't getting to do it. It's not the judge sentencing you. They actually are forced to do that. So we're going to come back in 2 minutes. They're going to be performing. Casey's going to be performing his Wrong One. Simon Mandela is going to be performing his 10 Toes Challenge. We'll see you in 2 minutes on the Divas Corner Talk Show.
Press. The artist should be
Nitty,
pressed in the booth.
aka Paco.
Don't press.
I'm here with LV. Different tone, different zone. Vibe with us. Yeah, coming from me, you know it's real. I don't do shit like this.
This is for my nation, Declaration of Independence, freedom of speech, freedom from these bitches. They want us down, they don't want to teach us. They acknowledge that we own this for my nation, Declaration of Independence, freedom of speech, freedom from these bitches. They want us down, they don't want to teach us. And hit the knowledge that to each his own.
The same nigga that they used to be. It's the same nigga in office. Decisions of the world at his feet. I'm on my pro-black shit. 21 gun salute, big payback shit. Yeah, we on the move. It ain't no time for relaxing. And we marching. And we light skin. And we dark skin. And we Haitian. And we are one. All in this nation. Jeff Katrina tragedy like I was from New Orleans. Hated what happened to Haiti like White Cliff Lake. They want us dead, they don't want black babies. Acting like the new black is too much crazy. Then they put us in the projects like a project. Make us the subject and turn us into suspects. Fuck balance, I'm riding on them offsets. Hope project kid looking for profits. Stop it, I'm at the table like it's dinner time. Who is Uncle Sam to tell blacks how to minimize? Why would I surrender my position? Especially when I represent a nation and the race is for my nation.
Declaration of Independence, freedom of speech, freedom from these bitches. They want us down, they don't want to teach us. They acknowledge that to each his own. This is for my nation. Declaration of Independence, freedom of speech, freedom from these bitches. They want us down, they don't want to teach us. Hit the knowledge that to each his own.
Big up to my political soldiers. Discipline leader, mind frame, Tupac Shakur. Hold a memorial for the shining stars lost at war. The casualties and tragedies and many more. First you gotta learn, shoot, then salute. Learn to decode the signs of a mason. They a game too sophisticated, not basic. This life's a Rubik's Cube, you gotta face it. Different colors and dimensions, black and white coalitions, power tripping on a mission. Chill out, therefore sellouts and bail out. They want us fall back in the hood and just kill out. But we build up and we network. That's when enterprising with our eyes on the network. Now, yeah, I ain't political, I'm critical. Our previous nation leader was pitiful. Put him on a pedestal and ridicule. I'm on disposal to you, but you need to know. Roll up when you're here, you gon' need the blow. If you ain't on our side, then you need to go. Traitor, hater, stomp on you, alpha beta. My team ready to stand, skin tougher than gator. Assassinate you, snipe you under the radar.
Declaration of Independence, freedom of speech, freedom from these bitches. They want us down, they don't want to teach us. They acknowledge that to each his own. This is for my nation. Declaration of Independence, freedom of speech, freedom from these bitches. They want us down, they don't want to teach us. Get the knowledge that to each his own.
Who taught you to hate the texture of your hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin to such an extent that you bleed to get like the white? Who taught you to hate the shape of your nose and the shape of your lips? Who taught you to hate yourself from the top of your head to the soles of your feet? Who taught you to hate your own kind? Who taught you to hate the race that you belong to? So much so that you don't want to be around each other. No, before you come in to Mr. Muhammad, does he teach hate? You should ask yourself who taught you to hate being what God gave you.
Welcome back to the Divas Corner Talk Show with your number one host, Diva Sheeta, Diva Janelle, Mrs. Velvet Rivers in the building, and Diva Angel. We have a few guests on the show. Thank you, Malcolm Tankley, for coming out and showing some love.
Yeah, he was really nice.
Yes, he really was. A youth juvenile police officer. So he works down there with the juvenile, and he gave us an insight onto what he's actually trying to do. And we need to have more men like him. Honestly, you need to take more responsibility in your community, take, a lot of action, go to school for criminal justice, and become part of the change. I mean, I hate to say it, but Mahatma Gandhi is right. Be the change that you wish to see in the world. We have Michael Jackson who represents us. I mean, the man in the mirror. So start with the man in the mirror, and let's go. We got Cy Mandela performing his 10 toes challenge.
Yeah. Man, y'all know how I'm coming, man. Look. Came up. Life is hard, but made it out. Now I'm up here. Look. See, I know mama gotta eat. We ain't never gonna starve. Only 18 and I got this baby in my arms. It is rap shit easy, so I know I'm going fall. For my brothers and my sisters, I'm gonna make it out the mud. They say, why that boy stressing? Cause my life ain't good. I'm just trying to stack it up and make it out of the hood. Got me staring at them stars saying I wish I could. Mama told me start to pray. I said I know I should, but I can't. Losing hope, I feel like I'm losing faith. Got me running out of breath, feel like I'm being chased. Got me running out the checks, but this shit more like a race. I see you running at the checks, but I'm in first place. See, I'm just trying to make a movie off this little old dream. And if you're a real hustler, then you know what I mean. See, these streets is like chess, and I'm just trying to be king. And if I see it, I'ma take it. I'm just following my dreams. Damn.
Alright, big side up.
10 toes in
Okay,
this bitch, man.
10 toes. Casey, you coming on? You about to blow on them real quick.
Yeah. Not like that. See,
We spitting live on the radio. Freestyling, baby. And we ain't never hazy, never lazy. I gotta go get the paper, and I know they hate me, but I don't give a damn cause they call me crazy. 10 toes down. Yeah, Mom Duke's got these rounds. Straight sounds.
They call you crazy.
I'm not gonna take
You know,
that.
okay. Now Casey Mandela on the track.
What?
Shouldn't have did that one, though.
I'm sorry, I'm sleeping. That is not Casey.
You're fucking with the wrong one. Get that shit up out my face. It's the north side, we don't play no games. You're fucking with the wrong one. I am so insane, and it's your Casey living in a hateful place. You're fucking with the wrong one. Get that shit up on my face. It's the north side, we don't play no games. You're fucking with the wrong one. I am so insane, and it's your Casey living in a hateful place. You're fucking with the wrong one. Hold up, wait. I'm a young nigga that's trying to get paid. Fuck all the fame. Just give me money and I make it shake. I've been at the stool, smoking on gas, been in kinda late. Roll a fat Dutch, light it up, hit it, then up at the bed. I've been rolling with the 30. Do a dumb nigga dirty. I be always by my lonely, so I always got it on me. So don't try to run up on me. You might catch a hot one, homie. Why these niggas tryna down me? When these niggas should've crowned me. Now these niggas sleeping on me, but you know I'm creeping on them. I be always in the car, hollow tips coming, so you better duck. Hey, pussy boy, you better run. Bitch, I do this shit for fun. I be clutching on 2 guns. I be swerving hella drugs. Shooting D's at the shop. Smoking gas non-stop. OGs towing Glocks. Hunkin' wood with the guap. Reaching for it, yeah, you know a nigga always tryna reach it for the top. I'm tryna get it, yeah, you know a nigga always tryna reach it with the guap. Get that shit up out my face. It's the north side, we don't play no games. Yeah, fucking with the wrong one. I am so insane, it's your Casey living in a hateful place. Yeah, fucking with the wrong one. Get that shit up out my face. It's the north side, we don't play no games. Yeah, fucking with the wrong one. I am so insane, it's your Casey living in a hateful place. Yeah, fucking with the wrong one.
That's what I told the bill collector.
I like that. I like that. That was hot. That was hot.
I ain't sitting there all day with that shit's hard, bro. Your shit nice too. But I like that.
Okay, so that was Casey. Wrong one. And before we close up the Divas Corner Talk Show, I wanted to let you guys know, I hope you knew earlier, to go out and vote. If you didn't go and vote today, please pay attention to who was elected in Franklin County. I know we had Jasmine Ayers, who was for city council, and Will Petrick, and those were the Democrats that we had for city council. And then who else was it that
They
we
all
had
in the
running?
same group though.
Aaron Upchurch, Amy Harkins,
That's a
and
different topic.
Abby Vale. Yeah,
Yeah, I was gonna say one.
well, you know,
like a
some I know Jasmine Ayers is supposed to be in the same community as, like Malcolm was saying. So we want people who are in the forefront, and I don't want to represent any of these people yet because I haven't got a chance myself to stay up on this. The other day ago, when I was out and about doing the show, I ran up on some people called Yes We Can Columbus, stationed over there off of Morrison Avenue, and I was kind of surprised about it because to see them in a residential neighborhood like that, just right there in a half a double, kind of threw me for a loop. And then when I seen that they were for political asylum, you know, just activists, I really wanted to see what they were doing. So I went in, they had some nice minimum wage, $15 an hour signs. They had Henry Green, Justice for Henry Green, posted on the wall. So right then and there, that caught my eye to walk into a neighborhood community and to see that they had even Justice for Henry Green on their wall spoke levels to me. So hoping to do some business with Yes We Can Columbus in the future and connecting. We do have to, you know, reach out. So I know we know it's all political game. Like you said, we still have to go through the loopholes of this. So we want people who are going to be in office who are going to reflect the morals and values. Clearly, Donald Trump reflects a lot of wrong morals and values of a lot of American people. You need to go get mentally checked out.
And with that being said, to me, I'm a conspirator. Everything is a conspiracy to me. I have to rethink, reevaluate, break it down, read through the lines. I just do that with everything. So when you talk about, you know, the Democratic Party, they all in cahoots. You feel me? At the end of the day, it's still the same agenda that's going to be pushed, either Republic, Liberal, Democrat. It's still going to be the same agenda. They're just going to rework it a little bit to fit you.
Well, we want to help people vote, so we're going to support voting, and hopefully it makes some change. We'll talk about that more in depth, the impact of it. I know this year was really hard on that, so we're going to close up with that. But please join us next week. We're going to finish off the first hour, closing up when we talk about the privatization, the corporation, and the monetization of the prison system. We're going to speak about some numbers on that the first half of the show. And the second half next week, the second half of the show, we're actually going to be covering an hour on mental health for the youth and the suicide issues that's been going on. Teen suicide. So please join us next week as we speak about
and the rate that
is really increasing in the African American community, taking mental illness really serious, and the teen suicide rate. Also,
it's
a lot
really
of
weird
other
about that
teen
too,
suicide
because
rates.
back in the day, you would just